Hi, this is John from Chicago, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you an exciting quad. I've had it for 3 weeks. It's called the Eachine UZ65. What makes this different than other 65mm tiny whoops is they managed to put larger props on it. They were able to do that by taking the flight control board and rounding it so it would give room for these props to fit with the same wheel circumference of 65mm as a standard whoop. Because of that, these props have a area that is 27% greater than the standard 31mm props. And that has some advantages. It gives it longer flight times and a little bit more power with the same motors. But these aren't really the same motors. The Mobula 6 comes with a 25,000 kV motors, where the UZ65 has a 19,000 kV motor. But they put out close to the thrust, same thrust. But the weight's a little bit more. This one weighs 22 grams dry weight, and the Mobula 6 weighs 20.2 grams. And then I made a modified Mobula 6. I put it on a 75mm frame, and that weighs 21.4 grams. So that's what these three models here weigh. I'm going to show you the thrust test coming up, but I'll go ahead and throw out the numbers now. The UZ65 had a little less thrust than the Mobula 6. This has 89 grams of thrust, where the Mobula 6 on the testing had 94 with the standard propellers and or kV, the 25,000 kV, and with the slower motors, the 19,000 kV, it had 74 grams of thrust. So the power to weight ratios, the Eachine had a power to weight ratio of 3, and the Mobula 6 had a power to weight ratio of 3.4. So this is a little bit more zippy. The other thing that makes this more zippy that a lot of people noticed, I've been reviewing this, I've had it for 3 weeks now, and a lot of the reviewers got their reviews out, and they all say the Mobula 6 has a little bit more zip. The other thing that gives it a little bit more zip are these propellers are a lot lighter. And these weigh a quarter gram a piece, where these weigh 4/10 of a gram. So it's easier and faster to spin these up. So I think that's why you're seeing the acrobatics being a little bit better on this, and it's a little bit quicker on the turns and things, is because you could increase the speed quicker. It takes longer to speed the bigger propellers up. But this is a really great flying machine. It handles great, it tracks good, so it's going to be a contender, I think, to the Mobula 6. It's just not quite the speed that you have, but a lot of people are going to like it. I'll start doing the thrust tests on this, and I'm going to do a range test to show you what the distances are. This does have instead of a 25, the VTX, instead of being 25 milliwatts, this is 25 or 100, so it gives you a little bit more power, but I won't spoil that one for you. I'll let you see the range test to see how it compares. Then I'll do a speed test, an indoor speed test around my indoor track, small one, and then I have a larger outdoor track where I could open it up and go a little bit quicker around the playground. So I'll put all this on a spreadsheet for you and give you my summary. I wanted to talk about durability too, because that's an issue that a lot of people are concerned about, and I think a lot of people are going to like this, but I still think the Mobula 6 is fantastic, and this is a little bit faster and a little bit more maneuverable, but this is a really great quad, and I think you're going to find more and more people upping the prop size.
29.7 grams, and it has a thrust of 89 grams with a power to weight ratio of 3 to 1. Now I'm doing a range test. A lot of people have problems with SPI receivers, but I've been fairly fortunate, and I get over 200 yards or meters on most of these. My Mobula 6, in fact, had 260 meters with 1S and 25 millihertz VTX. This one has 100 milliwatt VTX, which should give you longer range. I'm passing the mailbox right now at 165 meters, and the start of the park after the bike path is at 200 meters. It's starting to break up a little bit, but not bad, and it'll start getting a lot worse here in a few seconds, and then we have a fail-safe where it rolls over and crashes. That's at 230 meters, which is okay. I was hoping to get a little bit more than the Mobula 6, but 230 meters is still quite good. Now I'm doing my indoor track here in the house. I'm averaging 9 seconds a lap for 3 consecutive laps, which is excellent. My fastest so far with all the other whoops have been 10 seconds, so I'm about a second faster per lap. Then we move to the outdoor track. This is 500 feet long, and again I'm doing my fastest 3 consecutive laps using 2 different batteries, and I'm averaging 12 seconds per lap, which falls in between my 2 Mobula 6 models, my 19,000 kV and 25,000 kV models. So one was a second faster and the other one was a second slower. I think overall, though, if you're in a race situation, the Mobula 6 25K model will be a little quicker, and the aerobatics is better. This is a spreadsheet that summarizes my results for the testing. Overall, it's a good quad, and I think going to larger propellers makes sense. The weight of this is 2 grams heavier, though, than the Mobula 6, and even though it has a more powerful VTX, 100 milliamps versus 25, I did not see an increase in range. So I think the Mobula 6 is still a little bit better of a quad, but I think performance-wise, but I think the UZ65 has a lot going for it using these bigger props. It gives the 27% larger prop area, has longer run times, and more power for the size of the motor. So I think it's a good thing, and you'll probably see a Happy model, perhaps, or in some of the others coming out with something similar over the next several months to get ready for next year's whoop season. The pros and cons, again, the pros would be the larger prop size, and there was no jello. I didn't see any jello when we were doing the range test or the outdoor racing where I did on the Mobula 6. So those are the pros. For the cons, the durability. The first thing that went bad was the VTX antenna. It came off twice. I had to glue it finally with some CA. I used hot glue the first time and it came off, so I put some CA on it and that did the trick. It's hard to find if you lose it. It really is out in the grass. It's quite small. Then the other problem I had was on durability is the frame. I cracked the frame twice. One hitting a steel post and the other one hitting into the paved bike path. So it is possible to break this frame. None of the other reviewers I saw broke any frames on it, but I've had this for 3 weeks and I've flown it quite hard. This has a little less range than the Mobula 6. And the acrobatics, I think, are not quite as good. I think part of that is the prop speed, the spin up, the heavier props. But it handles great. I definitely recommend getting one. I'm hoping that some other vendors will follow, and we might get something that's a clear winner over the Mobula 6, where I don't think that this is the case right now. I think they're pretty much tied. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. And thanks for watching. This is John from Chicago.